Good morning, you fabulous human beings, on this wonderful Wednesday, September 2nd. I've mentioned before that I go deep into thought and analyzing things so I can keep things simple. And I kind of hit that point yesterday. And I'm good, I got to get back to keeping it simple. Uh, Focusing on the simple fundamentals of just focusing on what you want, being happy, enjoying the process. There's there's times to overthink and there's times to keep it simple. And sometimes you have to back away. That's what I have to do. And I just want to share something that hit me this morning as I listened to Sadhguru, however you pronounce his name. I enjoy listening to him because to me he keeps it simple. It's no fluff. It's just plain. I don't necessarily agree with everything, or not everything resonates with me, but I keep an open mind. And communication is important, right? Communicating is the dialogue going back and forth. Then understanding or comprehending, listening to understand, is the other part of that, the other side. If you're wanting to learn, if you're wanting to move beyond something, if you're wanting to get over something, if you're wanting to improve your health, if you're wanting to learn something, you have to learn how to learn how to listen, learn how to comprehend. There's more to just listening. There's comprehending. And it goes back to where your focus is. If you're listening to something, and this is what I found true for me, and I hear something I don't necessarily agree with, I tend to start going down that path of trying to disprove, in my mind. If you take everything at value, trust but verify, if you really want to squeeze everything you can out of something, you'll do your best to understand, to comprehend what's being said. And I use Sadhguru for an example because here's where keeping it simple on the surface, but sometimes you got to go a little bit deeper. Sadhguru is Indian. He's from India. Now he's a worldly person, but you kind of have to understand where his roots are, his mother tongue, and kind of where he grew up. So when he talks about things like this morning, he was talking about heaven and the way he was describing it. Now, the way he's learned about heaven is probably a little bit different than the way I've learned about it. And all of us have our own little concept of what heaven is. So initially, when he said that, I because he was talking about the general description that he's come to understand that heaven, it's not a place he wants to be. And he starts talking about 12 wives and stuff. And if you understand, heaven to different religions means different things, right? What goes on, what happens in heaven, whether you're a spiritual, Buddhist, whatever. There's different interpretations of heaven. So I don't know what his interpretation was. So I tried to understand, get into the groove of what he was speaking to, because he's speaking to a general audience, and at this point his audience is worldwide, and a lot of times when people speak, it's in general. Therefore, if I really want to understand what they're saying, I have to understand what those words mean to them to understand what they're trying to get across. And that's helpful in relationships and everything else, to understand how someone feels. There's a whole nother thought process coming in, but I don't want to go there. But this is about you. This is about being selfish with you, with what you need. What do you need? What do you need to get you to where you want to go? The things that you want, these thoughts that keep coming up that you want to move towards and understand. So be self-aware and look at the story you're telling yourself. If you keep telling that story, even though you're listening to other stuff and you're trying to find some enlightenment for yourself to get on a certain path, you have to open up your mind. You have to kind of keep yourself neutral and not get attached to certain things that are being said. If you want to learn, you have to take the little pieces, because whereas it different we're as individual as our fingertips, right? As our fingerprint. So for one thing to work for everybody, you have to. It's kind of like when you go to seminars, you listen to stuff that there's, they say there's a golden nugget. You get the little nuggets that you can. And for me, that's frustrating sometimes, because you hear a lot of the stuff, right? It's repetitive, right? It's like blah, 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 blah. Everybody's saying the same thing. And then every now and then you get a little something that's like, oh, okay. And it helps you understand something better. So keep your mind open. And for me, like I said yesterday, life is like a game. Everybody has their purpose. There's people here that are supposed to be on the left. There's people supposed to be on the right. There's supposed to be agitators. There's supposed to be healers. And if you find yourself just trying to get through this, find the common denominator. Find what makes you happy. You really have to dig deep. And you really have to ask yourself sometimes, what do I want? Why do I want it? How is that going to make me feel? Because you think you want something. You look at somebody and you're like, oh, I like that. But you don't know, if you don't really know the story behind it, you have to ask yourself, what do I really want? What do I really want to do? How do I really want to feel? And it takes time. You'll get it. You'll get it. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and share. I'm trying to make some shit happen, and uh, relationship wise, health wise, money wise, and uh, shit is happening. But I'm trying to take it up to the next level and trying to move things in a different direction and enjoy the process. So you guys have a wonderful hump day.